That's kind of surprising. I guess he feels like he has an advantage.
Oh, he needs to
On
set me as a
water.
watcher.
Oh no. Yeah, I
Can you
don't think
watch the
he.
stream at the same time
Yeah, I
and
think
comment on the stream
unfortunately
while?
for this
Is there a
game,
delay?
there's a delay, but it's not that long.
I
It's
didn't even
just
know
like
that.
kind of natural delay, you know.
So we're,
Okay.
at least for me, it's 117, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
Has there still been issues for timing and stuff?
It seems like we're going out of sync at some points, but
Yeah,
nothing too
not
bad.
too far though. It's most parts okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Hopefully it'll be resolved. I mean, we worked on it right after the whole debacle on Sunday. We worked on it for quite a while after that. I mean, I should say Voobly worked on most of it since I was pretty much just their guinea pig.
Anyway, let's focus on the match. And looking at Chris's map, it's perfectly round. Looks like most of his resources are safe from water. It's pretty much a perfect map for him. RiuT has a lot more of an elongated map. His gold, at least, is safe for the most part, though not the case for the stone. In terms of fish, it looks like Chris has more of a chance to get deep fish compared to RiuT. He only has a couple of spots where the fishing will be good.
Yeah, it's like not even close. My God, look at the fish at the like bottom corner, in the top right corner. It's so good
Yeah.
for Chris here.
And RiuT has the closer gold, though, the extra island. That might be huge later on in the game. We'll see if that plays a role.
Oh, RiuT! Oh my God, he can't even restart. It's too late for him to restart. RiuT just lost a villager trying to lure his boar, which is actually kind of funny because he used his scout to lure that boar too. Wow.
Yeah, I was about to comment on his excellent boar luring
Yeah.
skills.
Oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. Wow.
And it looks like his scout is still standing next to the second boar. I don't think he learned his lesson in this case.
Wow, that's really unlucky. That was about like 2 or 3 seconds game time before he could have paused and called a re if he wanted to,
Yeah.
which I'm sure he did.
Some idle time on his part as well. Some TC idle time. So not the best start for him. At least he managed to get some. He managed to get his dock in a good spot with some good fishing.
He's going right for that boar guy with the scout.
Not
Oh well,
successful this time.
yeah,
I mean,
unfortunate.
when you're luring the scout, it's no when you're
Oh my
luring the
God!
boar.
Wow, I can't believe he just did that.
Yeah. The first time he only hit the boar once, so it's no different than with a villager. If you only hit it once, the boar will most likely run back for no reason. And with the boar running back, it left his economy in a mess. He had to transfer his villagers over to sheep, and now back to boar. So that's a lot of idle walking time.
Yeah, it really is. Especially if you're trying to gather around one and then it dies again. You're spending quite a few seconds there just running around in a circle trying to make sure you're getting food. But yeah, I think to pause one more time for a second just to say where I'm at on this. I think I'm watching pretty much what you guys are watching. I think it's pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no delay on like the Boobly channel, so it's just delay between me getting it to Twitch or whatever.
Okay. What were the first 3 maps?
Yeah, good question. So just a quick recap of how we've gotten here. Currently 2-1 in favor of Chris. First map, Arabia Huns War. Good job. RiuT won that game, right? I'm actually like struggling to remember at this point.
Yeah, RiuT won that game. He had a much better map than Chris, and he took control early on. Slowly, Chris was falling behind more and more. Almost managed to come back with some army wins, but he ended up losing. His economy was just too far behind.
Right. So Game 2 was a home map for Chris. He picked Hamburger, where we saw RiuT try. Both players picked Mongols, tried to tower the middle wood, but Chris also went to try to get docks, try to get fish, and get wood on the outside, which ultimately paid off for him.
Yeah,
A map that
he just
won.
played a safer, more balanced game, and it paid off. Like you said.
And the game that we just got out of, RiuT's first home map, Mediterranean, where RiuT had the early advantage on the water, but Chris really turned around and played a really strong all-around game from like Castle Age on, and ultimately ended up taking that one.
Now focusing on this game, this is really interesting. If you compare both players, you will see that Chris is pretty much 4 villagers ahead, actually six population ahead, and they're about to feudal pretty much the same time. RiuT being slightly ahead in terms of feudal time. So I would say that RiuT is way behind right now. It's going to be a tough game for him.
Lou, how would you try and turn this around if you're RiuT and you understand that you are far behind? Not only, I mean, the scout doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things as far as population, but being behind on villagers, I'm sure that he felt that happening as it was happening. Like, not even just the death of the villager, but if you have that kind of idle time, you know it.
Yeah, I think as the game drags on, he's going to fall more and more behind. His only shot is to try and play aggressive and catch Chris off guard.
I think that this is going to be one of those instances where his incredible micromanagement could pay off. If he's able to get a lot more value out of his ships when they're fighting than Chris is, he can begin to close the gap. But Chris is no slouch either.
And that's something we kind of saw at the start of the Feudal Age, or kind of middle of Feudal Age, the last game on the Mediterranean game, where RiuT made some really, really nice plays with his galleys, but Chris was able to basically match it and especially in Castle Age, turn things around with some really great play. And I feel like this is going to be really tough for RiuT here, despite what the scores may say. RiuT kind of playing it safe here. He's kind of just scouted around with his galleys, not really gone anywhere yet.
He's trying to find Chris's docks, and I think he's pretty lucky that Chris's docks are not too far. The farther the docks are from each other, obviously, the harder it is to play aggressive. And like I said, he needs to play aggressive right now.
I think Lou's exactly right, and with them being on the same side, going up around the same speed is better off for him, because Chris, I think, what was the fishboat advantage that Chris ended up getting? Was it 2? I saw that he had 6, I think, but I haven't seen how many RiuT has.
Yeah, Chris was 2 ahead. Now it looks like they're even. So RiuT is choosing to play safer. He just wants to try and catch up.
Mm-hmm. It looks like, yeah, like you say, he's reinvesting into the villagers and keeping a defensive position.
Maybe he thinks that the docks are too far apart, that he can't win aggressively.
It'll be interesting to see if...
You think Chris should be the aggressor? He's got 3 more boats right now. Oh no, he's running to the north, and RiuT could get right onto the fish if... I don't think he knows it's there.
Looks like it's going to happen. If you're Chris here, yeah, you do kind of want to lean on RiuT, because if you do have the advantage, you just kind of want to press him until you can, like, work him down and let your advantage kind of get out further in front of his economy.
But Chris has all the boats here, and he takes out 1 boat of RiuT, and RiuT is in full retreat, outnumbered by maybe 4 or 5 boats here. RiuT was just a little bit further away. If he kept going to the east, he could have got all in Chris's fish boat's business, but Chris came back in the nick of time, still with the advantage here.
Will you check what RiuT has for a line of sight? I wonder if he doesn't know the shape of his island and where the docks are behind.
Yeah, he only sees these 2 here.
Yep. Okay, that makes sense. I think he knows where his fish boats are now, though, but the element of surprise would be kind of gone, especially with they're engaged in that fight there.
Again, using that flank formation to good effect here is RiuT to avoid some of these volleys coming from Chris, just kind of backing away, playing it safe.
Yeah, that that formation is a really interesting trick. I remember a couple of years ago when I used to play a little bit more, nobody ever used that, and that's a new trick that players have developed, and it seems like all the top players are using it these days, more so than the newer generation top players. The older generation are a little bit more stubborn.
And he runs
See?
right into the patrolling boats of Chris, but immediately flanks and backs away. Good job by him to avoid too many whatever hits from Chris. But no one's really doing too much damage here. Ship-wise, 20 for RiuT, 22 for Chris, so no huge advantage here.
It's really interesting watching both of them micro. Like RiuT is, you can see he's microing a lot harder. He's doing a lot more. Chris is just doing, simpler things, but he's not falling behind that much.
Oh, he does lose 2 ships here without taking anything from RiuT. RiuT trying to move in position to get more, trying to maybe push the envelope here a little bit, trying to get in on a spot where he can get another good hit in, but Chris is just backing away playing. Oh, now he turns around and he needs to be careful. Oh, wow. He gets one more. Good. RiuT just got 3 ships there to Chris's 0. He does obviously have damage on his galleys. And Chris going forward again. He does still have the numbers, but RiuT's being real sneaky and elusive here, avoiding the damage. Just trying to pick off what he can. Obviously, with that number, he can, with the right hit, kill a boat in one volley here.
RiuT is doing a tremendous job of getting volleys off in the right amount of time and keeping his ships moving in the right angles to minimize any attack by Chris.
Yeah.
He's doing just getting tremendous value out of every shot that he fires.
Population-wise, RiuT has pulled it back, basically 70 apiece each. Oh, he's going forward now right into the face of Chris, and he loses like 3 galleys in the process. Maybe a slight mistake there for him, not paying attention, but now he's turning around trying to get into the line of fire here on Chris. And Chris is actually the first to blink here. He's the one who's going to back away, but he did kill like 3 ships from RiuT before RiuT could react. And he kills one more in the process as RiuT tries to back away. So maybe Chris has turned this around a little bit, gotten a little bit back there.
That was an excellent fight for Chris. RiuT pretty much lost all the advantage that he gained earlier on.
You can see with how you have it highlighted that the health of his ships before that fight were kind of weak because of all the dodging he had been doing. His ships were hurt but not fully dead, so when Chris had those big volleys into his ships, they seemed to be connecting on all of his damaged ships and really took them all out.
And RiuT needs to be really careful here because we saw, and there is the War Galley upgrade. He needs to get out of here until he can get that upgrade. He's kind of backing himself into the corner. I'm surprised he actually was running this way. He's completely running himself into a corner. I don't know what he's doing. And he's going to lose a ton of boats here. He's just going in places to dodge the shots here, not necessarily worried about where he's leading himself. He is now up to Castle Age, but he's only got about 8 galleys left here. Down to 7.
Make it out.
Wow.
Chris is playing really clever. He's really boxing him in. He's not giving him a lot of choices.
And he's got at least one more, I think.
Oh, I think more than one. He'll get a couple more.
It'll be interesting where RiuT tries to take it from here. He clearly has a disadvantage on the sea now. And playing him straight up, I don't know if he'll be able to catch back up on sea in this initial matchup, but he could either maybe try and land or reboom or whatever, but I don't see how he's going to match numbers right now like this unless Chris fails to keep producing.
It looks like he's down 7 ships compared to Chris right now. We'll see if he chooses to just go for the fish of Chris, which it looks like he may be at that mode where he kind of knows he's outnumbered on water. You can see he has to, RiuT does have to run his fishing boats away to the top of the map. And he's,
if you're RiuT here, I think that's actually not a bad thing. You're going to get better matchups for numbers-wise out near Chris's docks, and you know where his boats are. I mean, they're behind his economy. Hopefully he's able to protect it behind his island there, but if he's able to engage a bunch of ships one at a time, he can start to pull these numbers back in his favor.
Yeah, I think it's a good trade, like you said, for RiuT, and Chris realizes that. That's why he's pulling back. He doesn't want to make that trade.
Chris, though, in the meantime, has 3 TCs up. RiuT only on 1 still. And he's already moving his fishing boats away, although he's now kind of running back right into the line of fire of RiuT's ships here. Oh, they're running right through each other. He's going to lose like all his fishing boats here. But he may be able to trap in a lot of these boats for RiuT. He needs to be careful with boats coming in from the left side already with a bunch of them on the right side. He's trying to turn around and fight, but he needs to get out of there. Or maybe he's just going to try to do as much damage as he can, and then, oh, well. Kills the boats on the right side of the map, and now he's going to beat his retreat away around the right side of the island of Chris. And it actually kind of worked out well for RiuT. He was able to kill a good number of fishing boats, although Chris still has 3 left, but I think he built more than his original 6 after it looked like he had water control.
Now Chris is getting ballistics at this point. He's going to have it really soon. And it will be hard for RiuT to hit and run after that.
RiuT is absolutely not giving up on water. Look at all these galleys he has garrisoned in these docks. He's still on
RiuT.
TC. Wow.
RiuT really needs to make sure he gets ballistics before he fights with those.
Yeah, he's playing all in, and if you're playing all in, you can't lose the big fight.
He may as well even get the defense upgrade. I mean, if his whole goal is to shove in, you want to make those ships as valuable as you can before pushing all in, so to speak.
Problem is, he has no food at the moment, and he has no food income either. He has 2 villagers on farm right now, and that's all his food income.
He's engaging with these boats right outside of his docks with half his navy still kind of away, but he's still kind of got the numbers here to fight this.
Yeah, I think he likes his spot. And that if he does see it start to go badly, and he's microing it, but if he sees to go badly, he could bait Chris a bit and like pull him in behind his island, maybe get a trap. Although Chris keeps coming with more too, I see.
Again, there are about 12 more boats coming for RiuT from the right side of the map. Surely Chris knows they're there. I mean, he's the one who chased them away around that side of the island. He's actually letting this boat go. Did he see them, or maybe he just knows? He might have saw it with these reinforcements. Yeah, he sees them with the reinforcements over here on the right side. And now he's going to try to trap these ones in. And now he's kind of, again, caught RiuT out of position here. RiuT with the boats from his docks on the left side of the map too far away to really help, but now he's going to be able to regroup and do what he can, but he's lost more than he maybe needed to in the process, although look at all these coming out of his docks. Let's see numbers here. RiuT 45, Chris 40, so RiuT's got the advantage number-wise. He just needs to bring his ships to bear, and he's kind of leaving a bunch down here. I don't think he should be fighting this right now. Why is he fighting this? He's got so many ships doing nothing right now. Well, I guess Chris kind of does too. He's got a bunch of ships that are still attacking his house. So I guess it kind
Chris
of
is having the supposedly, allegedly upgraded user patch, or I guess I won't call it user patch. It's the AOK patrol. And when he told his ships to patrol, the ones behind saw a building, a house, a dock, and they targeted those instead. And it left half of his army, it seemed like, not attacking.
Well, irregardless, this has really turned in RiuT's favor. He has taken back control of water, as you can see. Still got almost 40 ships. Chris is down to 14. Wow, that turned around really fast.
The race will become now, can RiuT push Chris off of sea hard enough before Chris can advance and get upgraded?
Do you feel like after what happened that Chris thought that he had won water and maybe let go a bit and eased up on production there?
That's what I think happens to some players.
I think RiuT just went too hard on water. Like Chris wasn't expecting him to go that hard. He obviously didn't know that he's one town center, economy all onto wood, 100% onto water. I mean he caught him off guard basically.
I wonder how many docks he added. How many docks is RiuT at right now?
A lot. Like
he must have 10.
9 or 10.
Yeah.
Even with the numbers advantage on the water, Chris still has the pop advantage, so he's still got the stronger economy. He's certainly not out of this by any stretch of the imagination.
Is he advancing?
No, but he's pretty, well, he needs gold.
Yeah,
he's got the food.
He's close to advancing. I would say that if he didn't lose that big fight, then the game was his, but Again, he didn't know how ahead he was in economy and how behind he was navy-wise.
Again, 3 TCs for Chris. I think we're on 2 now for RiuT. And
I have to say,
he's actually getting a third.
This patrol is kind of interesting. It seems to me like it makes it easier to hide behind your docks and so on.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Again, personally, I don't like these type of balance changes to a patch that is supposed to be just bug fixes. I'm not saying that the
that's
patrol is
allegedly
better
a
or
bug.
worse. It might be a bug, but it's part of balance.
Yeah, I didn't like it just because houses on the shore are actually like a military advantage now.
Yeah, like you
Aside
can
from
see,
It's like
see
we're killing rams next to your galleys at this point.
you can see what a huge role is playing because Chris is basically able to fight with even numbers shooting back and forth, even though RiuT has maybe twice the army, just because RiuT can't get his ships to attack Chris. I mean, it's huge.
I can only imagine in Imperial Age if you were to upgrade your buildings, architecture, and masonry, and then put houses all over your shore.
Yeah, and I mean at that point you have less time to actually micro your army. You're heavily relying on patrol.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the ship advantage is kind of shrunk here. For RiuT, it's only about 35 to 20 something here.
Yeah, he's probably had to invest more into his economy to try and catch that up.
Yeah, if he's not careful, he could even, well, now he's getting his ships to fight. He still, again, is having the same issue where 2 of these ships at the top are attacking these houses. Now he brings them down to try to help with these war galleys of Chris here in front of his docks. Chris now going to back away, looking like he's slightly outnumbered. But again, Chris is now up. He's about, what, 20-ish%, 26, about a quarter of the way up to Imperial Age. He just wants to keep these alive, and he could be in a really good spot here.
That's exactly what he's going to try and do, and I think that is what RiuT is really trying to fight against, is every chance that he gets an opportunity to fight Steel Castle Age ships he's going to take, because he knows that Chris is probably near upping.
Yeah, and he's backing away here, and maybe he should be taking what hits he can while he's still in Castle Age. Now he's turning around trying to get some hits in on these boats from Chris here. I'm actually kind of surprised Chris is taking this fight. Now he's backing away. Slowly. It kind of took him a little bit longer than he should have. But he's only going to lose maybe 1 or 2 boats in the process here.
I think he took a lot of hits there, though.
He definitely took a lot of hits, for sure. Well, hell, we're at 75%, 80% almost here for Imperial Age for Chris. Nowhere really sniffing Imperial Age for RiuT again. He was on 1 TC for so long. He has really kind of stepped up the war galley production in the last couple of minutes. You can see he's at 50. Well, he's actually outnumbered by Chris, so I take that back. And Chris is actually going to fight this here. And there's the Imperial Age upgrade, and wow, I think that was about 20 seconds too soon to take that fight, maybe. And Chris is going to back away, get those upgrades, and then turn around. And RiuT's going to be in a lot of trouble. He needs to pursue and do as much damage as he can, maybe. But I don't think Chris is going to let him do that. This is going to be a tough spot for RiuT here. You can see the score disparity now, about 1,000 points. Knowing his upgrades are imminently coming, he turns around, does Chris, and he's going to start getting to position to start attacking these. He doesn't actually have any Imperial upgrades yet, but I suspect they'll pick it soon. There's Bracer. And hard to tell since they're all kind of patrolled on top of each other. Actually, it kind of looks like RiuT's winning. Oh, there's the Galleon upgrade, and I assume this is where it's going to turn around here for Chris. Galleon upgrade and Bracer. This is really rough for RiuT now, but he had to do what he could here. You can't wait for him to get like chemistry and everything too. I mean, looks like maybe 15 boats left here for RiuT. He's hardly killing anything anymore at this point. the scores. Oh man, and now he's got chemistry too. Just too much from Chris here. RiuT calling good game.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering why I was fighting. I think before that fight even ended, he had decided in his head it was over. He was just going to watch it to the end.
Yeah. I think once he saw the Imperial Age, he kind of knew, considering
Yeah.
how far away he was, that it just wasn't going to work out for him.
I thought he should have sold his stone. He did. I mean, he had 300 or 400 stone that was sitting there, and probably could have used the extra gold to try and get advanced. Because without getting an Imperial Age, even if you were to maybe add castles, it could help buy you a little time. But if you're not Imperial Age, you're just waiting to die.